Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today on our GeoCloud webinar. I am the gentleman on the left, Mike Murray. I'm a business development manager with Cegal, and I predominantly promote our cloud solutions and our IT services. I have been with Cegal for 2.5 years now. And the more handsome and more intelligent gentleman on the right is Alexander Tharaldsen, who is a product manager for GeoCloud. He's going to join us today, and he's going to take us through the demo part. Alex has been with Cegal for over 10 years now, and is our product manager on GeoCloud, and has been heavily involved with GeoCloud over those 10 years. So yeah, thanks very much. There's going to be a little room for questions at the end. There is obviously the GoToWebinar software that can enable you guys to ask questions. We should have time to get through them. If we don't get through them all, of course we'll follow up individually. So yeah, so thanks very much. Thanks very much for that. And with that, I'll get started. So, if anyone with us doesn't know a little bit about Cegal, let me tell you a little bit about us. So, Cegal are a unique company. We are a leading provider of cloud solutions, software, and data management, and we are specialists in the E&P market. And our company tagline is actually filling the gap between IT and E&P. And we have a particular niche in the geoscience subsurface world. If you look at the image on the right, our how we actually make our revenues is predominantly made up by cloud and our cloud services. I'm obviously talking to you about GeoCloud today. And we have the other arms of the business, strong arms of the business in our software side. A lot of you will know us from the Blueback side of things when we acquired Blueback Reservoir in 2014. And we have a consultant side of the business, and that's on G&G consulting as well as IT consulting and business consulting. So no one really has our mix of domain knowledge in the E&P world mixed with our experience of software and our IT history. So it makes us for quite a unique company. So, what is GeoCloud? Basically, GeoCloud can be described as petrotechnical desktop as a service. So, what that means is that the compute that's typically in the past been provided by a workstation under your desk is moved to the cloud, plus all of your data, which is typically been accessed in your, let's say, your company infrastructure, is moved to the cloud, as well as the applications that you use. So not only the typical back office applications, but the petrotechnical desktop, petrotechnical applications as well. They're all moved to the cloud. And GeoCloud is the only vendor agnostic E&P cloud solution. So by that we mean the only cloud solution that enables all applications from all different vendors into the cloud solution. So the idea with GeoCloud is to enable your most important asset, and that is your people. So you need to enable your people with the right technology to be able to get them to work more effectively, especially in these days. And we can also combine that with your organization's processes. Cegal and GeoCloud is delivered via the ITIL framework. And we want to work with your IT delivery to enable those users with the right process and technology. So what does that actually enable for the users? So with GeoCloud and petrotechnical desktop as a service, they have the ability to now work from home or work from anywhere on a basic laptop or any device in the same way that they'd previously had to travel to their office. And particularly users really love that convenience, being able to access multiple sessions in any meeting room or work from home. We have many customers who like the idea that they can go home and bath the kids and then maybe check on their work later or as they're doing things. So the idea really is to enable the users. I mentioned earlier, GeoCloud is the only vendor-agnostic EMP cloud solution. So with that, we have a selection here, just a very small selection of the applications that we have incorporated and hosted in GeoCloud. So to give you some context there, we have had over 2,000 applications hosted in GeoCloud, and of which those 2,350 plus are petrotechnical specific. So no other company really boasts that experience of these applications and the different intricacies that are involved in delivering them, and potentially sometimes troubleshooting and being able to deliver them. So we provide a service called application operation within GeoCloud, and that's to make sure that these key applications for your key people are delivered effortlessly. So these days, there's never been a more important time with these days, especially with COVID, etc., that you want to enable your workforce to work collaboratively, remotely, and securely. So you need flexibility to do that. And GeoCloud enables that by, like I said earlier, having all your having your virtual workstation, having your data, having your applications all in the cloud, and not just like a remoting into a workstation. A truly centralized cloud solution has the ability to enable a workforce that may be distributed over lots of different offices. You have a distributed workforce these days working from home, etc. So that's its main goal, is to enable that. And of course, with remote working comes the critical factor of security. So just to let everyone know, Cegal is internationally certified, ISO 27001 from a security perspective, and also 9001 from a quality management perspective. So you can be rest assured that Cegal have the right knowledge, experience, and quality practices to design and test safe cloud solutions for our customers. So really with that, I think the best thing to do is for us to actually look at a live demo. And I'm going to pass over to my colleague I mentioned earlier, Alexander, who's going to take us through a live demo of GeoCloud actually working and access a few applications, as well as show you a little bit about our cloud portal.
Yeah, so right now, what I'm at now is a portal, so the GeoCloud Portal. So every day when a geologist or a geophysicist or a data manager or a reservoir engineer who is in a company who has GeoCloud, when they arrive to the office, this portal will automatically come up, and even from home, they will log into this portal. So right now in the top right corner, you can see I'm logged on as Alexander Tharaldsen, and I have access to GeoCloud just in the center of the picture. I get some information, which is just some widgets of news from the world of oil, and also some more information in the portal. And this is also where I'm accessing GeoCloud. But I just want to highlight that as a geologist in here or a geophysicist, I can go to a store. So imagine this as the app store on your phone. I can go in here and I can purchase or ask for access to applications. So this could be if I am a Petrel user, but I wanted to look at Landmark's Decision Space Suite, I could ask for access to that application in here directly. And in the background, it will be all self-service, go through the approval metrics, and then get back to me and give me access to Decision Space or Paradigm or RMS or what our application I want to do to fulfill a workflow. At the same time, it also allows me to ask for access to projects. So if there are any projects that could be global or for specific sites, I can ask for access to those folders and projects in here as well. So this is the self-service bit of the portal. And also, if I wanted to, I could create, if I have a colleague who needs access to any projects, I could give them access from the portal to those projects directly from the portal. So just as an example, I go into the users to find my colleagues. I find Bruce, who is a colleague of me and Mike. I click edit, and I could easily on the groups add him to access the geodata or some specific project under the geodata if I wanted to collaborate with Bruce. So instead of this being just far away from me as a geologist or a geophysicist, this is right at my fingertips to allow for and enable swift access to collaboration on data and projects. Also from here, if I click on GeoCloud, many of you out there will have heard about the ongoing trends of public cloud. I just wanted to say that is something your company can just strive for and work against. And GeoCloud is certified both on a public cloud or in a private cloud setting. So it's all available from here. So I click on GeoCloud. What then happens is it opens a new window. And everything in the back end is then processed. This gives me, as Mike mentioned earlier, a tiered access. So it prompts me for two machines, either a cheaper small end machine or a high-end spec machine to do more in resource intensive work. So if I click on one of the machines, right now I'm clicking on the bit more heavy machine. What then opens is a window in the background like this. So if I just and that one, and we click open, it starts to process. And what's important to note here is that whether I'm right now, I'm sat at home, but if I'm on my cabin, or I'm in the office, or I'm traveling somewhere, same way of accessing GeoCloud applies. So it doesn't really matter if I have a Mac or a MacBook or a Windows laptop or a machine under my desk at home. Everything works and you can connect to GeoCloud. We even have GeoCloud customers who have access through their iPads to be able to go in and check on, say if you have a drilling campaign and you want to check the status of the campaign, they are able to log in, get up this picture as we are seeing on the screen right now, and look at the ongoing campaign. So if we just set that in a scenario as Mike just described, instead of having to travel to the office to check anything, you can be sat at home with your family, check everything as easy as from your couch. When you are logged into GeoCloud, as we are right now, down at the right-hand side, we see GeoCloud is there. If I click the start menu, I see all my applications. So in many ways, this is just as you are familiar with on your machine today. The big difference is that instead of you having Petrel installed on your machine, you have Petrel installed in GeoCloud, in the cloud, and you are freed from any specific machine to access those applications. At the center of the screen right now, we see all of the different files and projects. So in GeoCloud, you will have both personal files that could be projects that are specific to you, or you could have shared back office files. So a good example of that is if you find some prospects that are of interest and you want to share that with colleagues to look at the prospects, you can do that through the shared files. Also on the far right-hand side, you can see geodata. And the geodata is where you are working with your live projects from a day-to-day perspective. So it's really, really high performant. So all the projects that are placed there is high performant, and you can really value the storage when you work in here. We have a setup where you can see we do cross-country and cross-department collaboration. Cross-country is here, so you could have a branch office sat somewhere with geodata or seismic that we automatically in the background replicate to you as a colleague in a separate part of the world. So for this example, if we go into Norway, we can see in here we have some different projects ongoing, and these are projects that we can collaborate on one specific site. So for Norway, they could collaborate on the Norway data set, but if we go one step back, we could have a UK, for example, setup where we migrate data. All of the data setup is customizable, so it's up to you as a client to decide how your data structure should be placed. But for an end user perspective, this is where the projects are placed and where you work with them. In the start menu, where we saw the applications, we see Petrel, and we allow for any version of Petrel, and they can be installed simultaneously. We also have software that can help you have control over the projects, so you can see how many projects are in which version of Petrel, and how many are actively being used and which aren't. If we move into Petrel, which I guess most of you are known to see, I just want to highlight that I'm now sat at a Wi-Fi at home, and I'm looking at, now we are just in the interpretation window. I can move back and forth. If I move over to the 3D window, we see the seismic. We start to play with the seismic. You can see it's really smooth, just as you expect. The big difference is, again, you can work from anywhere on any device. So it doesn't matter if I have an older laptop, I can still do this work from, say, from a cabin. It's no problem. We have also customers who work over 4G, and it's no problem to work in Petrel or any other interpretation software with any kind of a setup, and 4G is enough on the connectivity side. I just wanted to show, because this is something that's on a rise. I mentioned Paradigm and I mentioned RMS. We are vendor agnostic, as Mike said. So we have any application that you want in here is available. OpenDetect is just a open source application. I just want to show you at the same time that we can move and use that data just as we would with Paradigm. We play with this seismic. We can add and change the scene. We can set up both the crossline and the inline. We can add it and play with it. We have access to all plugins in Petrel. So if we move back to Petrel and we look at, say, the toolbox, this works exactly as you would expect. Again, you are freed from the end user machine, and you can just play with, say, for example, resampling the seismic. You can do that from here as you would expect in Petrel. So this is how GeoCloud works. It's the login process. It's the start menu with all the applications that are available there. All of the applications are optimized and performant over 10 years now. Over 10 years, we have focused on optimizing and making all of the applications as performant as possible, so they are available at your fingertips. Also, all of your data could be raw or archived data, and even live projects are stored on GeoCloud and in GeoCloud, so that you can work on it with in a high performant manner. And you can also collaborate with other departments in your company and other country sites with the cross geographical collaboration. So this is a quick walkthrough of how GeoCloud works and what it is. So with that, Mike, I think we can go back in, and hopefully you can tie this up for us.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Okay, so I think I would just do a little recap for everyone's benefit. So start with the what. GeoCloud is the only vendor-agnostic cloud solution for E&P. So, like Alex has just covered there, any application, and we can have it in GeoCloud. And the chances are from the apps I'd mentioned earlier, or from the list, the 2,000 applications and the 350 technical ones, the chances are we've hosted it already. It delivers technical desktop as a service. So in summary, that is your compute. So it's a tiered virtual workstation in line with your resource requirements. So Alex mentioned the two different options that he had in his example. So a data manager, we typically use or require less horsepower than a geophysicist, for example. So we tier the virtual workstations accordingly. Data, access to all data and projects anywhere. And client chosen applications, as mentioned, any application. So on the why, so why is it valuable for you guys as customers? So it enables your subsurface users to work from anywhere collaboratively and securely from a centralized solution, like we mentioned, not just kind of remoting into a workstation, for example, a true cloud solution. And it enables the clients the freedom to utilize a varied application portfolio. So that's a key thing. So you want to enable, or especially your subsurface team will want to utilize the best available applications that the market has to offer. And that might be something that's more recent or something that could come out in the future. So you want to be able to utilize that, if possible. And I mentioned our unrivaled application knowledge and experience. That's what brings value to our customers, because we have the experience of delivering these applications over the 10+ years that we've been delivering GeoCloud in various guises. It's scalable as well, something I didn't mention too much of earlier. So the idea of GeoCloud is to grow with the demands of the business. So that can be positively or negatively. So the ability in GeoCloud to add users, to add data, and to add or remove, sorry, I should have mentioned, applications is key, and it's very easy for you as a business. It's just a basic request to Cegal, and then we action it. And of course, in relation to the way GeoCloud is procured, you pay for what you use. You pay for the number of users, the amount of data, and each application. And one that's often overlooked with something like GeoCloud is an as-a-service model is backed by a service level agreement. So we have the requirement to ensure the uptime of the solution. We have the requirement to ensure that your applications are operating correctly. We have our obligation to make sure that the platform is working as it should, our cloud portal is working as it should, and we continue to improve these services as we move forward. So it's on us, really. And on the how, you've seen Alex show you there some of our unique IP from our development over the years and our experience to deliver these efficiencies. So we've done a lot of work on our cloud portal. We've done a lot of work on our automation technology to be able to deliver our GeoCloud experience. And over 10 years, we've continuously improved it to get it to where it is. Now. We're utilizing the market-leading best-of-breed technology. So whether that's in a private or a public cloud scenario, if it's private, we've got long history with market-leading hardware providers that we procure for our own data centers, or we are also public cloud partners with market-leading technology. So the thing here with the options on the private and public cloud delivery is that we align with our client strategy, because clients have various strategies, and also there's also data residency requirements as well in particular locations, which we're very experienced of. And of course, there's cost, which we always have to be conscious of, especially right now in this market. So we can combine those strategic requirements, data residency requirements, and cost requirements to get the optimum delivery model for our clients. And I think that's us really for this session. And we'll hand over the option of any questions. I've got the question board up right now. So the question is, plans for a Southeast Asia data center?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And the answer is that we are looking at Asia quite a lot. We are working directly with Microsoft on the Singapore data center, so that region is there by Singapore. However, countries which Mike just explained with the data residency or sovereignty laws, we are looking at expanding our own approach as well. So we have a two-folded approach to that region. We both, with our partnership with Microsoft, we have an offering already, so you can get GeoCloud on Azure in Singapore, and we are also investigating expanding our own offering down there.
Perfect, Alex. Thank you. Of course, we'll follow up with the asker for that question. I have another one here. Sorry. How are the licenses managed? Does Cegal own the Petrel licenses, or does the operator still own the licenses? A great question.
Yeah, it's a good question as well. The answer is that it will still be a direct link between the license provider and the customer. We are not allowed, for the time being at least, to be the man in the middle. So the license agreement must be between the client and the software provider, as it stands today.
Alex, I'm having a technical issue with my menu here. Can you see those other questions that I can see there are other questions? Can you get to those in the...
Yeah, so the next question here is, could I use the GeoCloud to provide a farm out data room in the pandemic where I can not have physical visits? Yes, so that's a great question, thank you. Yes, you can definitely use GeoCloud to provide a data room. We actually have an offering that's called GeoRoom. It's based on the GeoCloud and our knowledge, and that is a virtual secure data room. That is a product really easy to just get up and running. It's agile, it's fast to get up, and then just for the time you need it, so the weeks or month you need the data room, that's the time you have an agreement with us. You have the data room, it's secured, all the data is there, the applications can be provided as well, and then you have the data room available. We have actually a video of that, a webinar on GeoRoom on Cegal's YouTube channel, so you could go and have a look at that one. We have an offering, so yes, you can use GeoCloud to provide a farm out data room. Good.
And I think we have one more question on HPC, an HPC solution.
Okay.
Alex, do we have an HPC solution?
Yeah, so the question is, do you have a solution for HPC and how does it work? So the answer is yes, GeoCloud has HPC built in. So you can have access to HPC, so a high performance cluster. That means when your users are using, so for everybody's benefit, when your user is doing some simulations and wants a result on a simulation, you can simulate that in the cloud so that the user can just continue to do their work while the simulation is running aside from the user's machine. And HPC is something that's built in, and yes, you can have a HPC solution in GeoCloud. The same approach to the HPC cluster as any other software. So for Petrel, for instance, we configure HPC. When you ship the simulation, you ship the simulation directly to the HPC cluster, and then it will be processed. And we can do HPC both on-prem and in public cloud as well. We have Azure setups that are live with HPC today. So yes, great question.
Excellent. I think timing-wise, we've just run over a little there. So we do have some other questions, but we'll follow up with those directly. I'd like to thank you all for coming along. And if anyone has any other follow-up, please do contact myself, Mike Murray. Just my email is very simple, mike.murray@cegal.com. And we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to have any follow-up. And we'll certainly do our best to get some answers to you quickly on the people who have provided questions. So thank you all very much on behalf of Alex and I and the Cegal team, and we look forward to speaking to you in the future. Bye now.